Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
very
good,
well.
thank you. How are you? How are you, Julia?
Oh, perfect. As you can see, I'm enjoying some holiday season already,
Yeah.
trying
As
to
we all
create some.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
nice.
Um,
often find that these 2 weeks are the only kind of 2 weeks that we can properly get off in this industry and fully relax. So yeah, yeah.
yeah. And for those who submitted our resumes for the session, probably it's gonna be like a whole new era of life, starting from the new year. So it's yeah, a pretty symbolic time, I guess, to be doing this a resume review session.
Yeah, a new year, a new CV, a new job. I think it all comes together.
Yep. And this is, by the way, the second round of resume reviews that we are doing here at Neon. So if you haven't seen the first one, you can go check it out at Neon EVM YouTube channel. And we are back by popular demand with Owen Healy and Ilya Shvetsov to review the resumes. And this time we have not only developers' resumes, but also one marketer's resume and one sales resume, which is very exciting. So before we jump right into the reviews, could you guys just tell us a bit about yourselves, and we are going to go right in.
Oh, and do you want to start?
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah. Yeah, recruiting in the blockchain industry for the best part of nearly 5 years. And yeah, thoroughly enjoy it. Across non-technical and or non-dev and developer roles. And yeah, yeah, I don't know, do a lot of personal branding work on LinkedIn as well, so pretty active there obviously as well. And yeah, work with a range of different projects from well-known layer ones to market makers, trading firms, institutional RWAs. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah, pretty much done quite a lot now at this stage. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, thank you, Owen. And my name is Ilya. I've been with Neon for about 2.5 years now. And Owen, I was thinking maybe we could start like our Netflix show, since our first episode was such a success, and now we're running a second one.
Yeah.
I think we should just carry on and monetize it finally somewhere in the crypto world. But yeah, happy to be here with you today again and help our potential candidates to find their dream job.
Thank you so much both for being here. Owen and Ilya are actually the best in the biz, so we are very lucky to have them here today to grill maybe some of the resumes.
Definitely.
Yeah, so let's go right in and start with the first one. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
Owen, would you like to start?
Sure. Yeah. No, I was really impressed with this resume, and I think that this individual, in many respects, almost should be asking. I should be asking him for advice on resumes as opposed to him asking us. I thought it was very good, to be honest, and it would generally be universally accepted as a proper 9 out of 10 resume. I feel. The executive summary was nice. It was concise. It had accessible links. What the person was about is there clear and center for you to see. There's no double column resumes. On the content side, I felt that the resume demonstrated good independent thinking and a can-do attitude as well. And yeah, no, very, very impressed. And often one pagers can be a little bit hit and miss, but this person overall did a very good job. I guess with respect to the I guess if you can scroll down a little bit, please, Julia, on the resume. Yeah, appreciate it. Um, just given the content already there, I just felt that maybe is the Node Ops experience really relevant, and that space could be utilized more effectively on his previous experiences, perhaps. But yeah, and the education section as well. I just felt that maybe the where the person indicates that they're a top performing graduate, just list the GPA, because one's interpretation of top performing graduate could be different. Is it top 10%? Is it top 20%? Is it top half even? We don't know. So just give the GPA, I think, and that's probably the best. That's probably the best thing to do there. But generally speaking, very impressed, and the person deserves a lot of credit. And it's very much a case of, just, yeah. I hope the person is able to back this up in a technical assignment, because they've certainly done a lot in a relatively short period of time.
Thank you so much, Owen. You've mentioned that this resume shows independent thinking, I guess. How do you see that in a resume? I mean, I'm not a hiring person, so I have no idea how to show it in a resume, but you obviously see that somehow.
Yeah, so again, just with regards to career highlights, effectively, like this is where I believe the person is optimizing themselves for success, because they're leading the interviewer to ask precise questions regarding his or her experience. So see there, save 12K per month by right sizing and traffic shaping, and cut deploy time from 10 minutes to 2 minutes with safe rollbacks. Again, this is where the person is effectively showing, okay, this is what I've done, and this is how I guarantee you that hiring manager, CTO will probably ask those questions as to how you've done that. So when the person is in the interview process, hopefully that person will be able to set the tone and be able to explain the result behind that. And again, I just hope the person is able to back up what they claim in the interview process, and technical assignment, no doubt.
Okay, yeah, that's nice to know. So being results oriented kind of helps.
Absolutely. Frame basic duties as achievements in your resume in as much as possible. And again, that career highlights section as well. Whenever I'm giving templates out to candidates that need work on their resume, I always say 3 or 4 bullet points with regards to top career highlights under your executive summary. Because again, it comes back to how long does one spend reading a resume? If you're reviewing hundreds of resumes a day, likelihood is between 5 and 10 seconds. So make it as consumable and enticing for the person reading the resume to scroll down and explore further.
All right. I think in the second resume, we also have this sort of highlights, but this is called achievements in this second resume. What do you say, Ilya? Is it good?
I think it's different here, to be fair. First of all, I think this is a very impressive profile, like really a lot to be proud of, a lot of achievements, as they call it here, and great experience. I think I would probably restructure it a little bit from the standpoint that, as in the first interview, as in the first CV, for example, there is a professional summary, like a couple of lines, 3 to 4 lines, a couple of sentences, just to highlight what you're good at or what you have done successfully in the past, just to make sure that it stands out, it catches your eye, and you want to read further. The skills section, I would probably put below into the second page, because it's and also the achievements here, for example, it's great that you've got those achievements, but this is not the compelling reason why they would hire you, probably, because it's more like it's about hackathons, it's about Eat Global, it's about some side hustles, like side projects, side hobbies that you highlight on the first page as something unique and you're proud of, which you should, but probably the potential company would be looking for a like corporate experience, like what you've done in a company, rather than, you know, winning a first prize or like a winner prize in Bangkok or at a hackathon. So I would just restructure and start with that professional summary or career highlights, like in the first CV. And then I would go down into the experience, which is actually very well written, I think, in this CV, because, you know, it's all in the past tense with the very result-driven verbs. It covers basically 3-5 bullet points in each experience, which is great because you don't want to, you know, enumerate all possible verbs that you've, you know, done in that job. And then finish the CV with those projects that you want to highlight, with the links and the achievements, as, you know, the prize winner or the hackathon winner, which would be a nice add-on to your overall experience and professional summary that you put up front in the beginning.
I think that this person also asked if HRs skip the professional summary section, but as you've pointed out, that it's actually a necessary section, so they should probably include it here as well.
Yeah, it's a good summary. Because again, like you, as Owen said, like how much time you're going to spend? 10-15 seconds on what? On reading the languages and, I don't know, other and achievements, rather than the actual job that you've done in the past that you can be proud of, and why I would be, you know, willing to hire you.
All right, so professional summary first, job experience second, or maybe those bullet points.
Yeah, career
professional
highlights.
Yes, and skills to the bottom.
And then all the fluffy stuff to the bottom.
Oh, what constitutes fluffy stuff? Skills and achievements?
I'm kidding. Yeah, it's more about, like, you know, hobbies and what you do in your free time. Projects and achievements are great because that also shows your, you know, background experience and your, you know, will to, you know, go above and beyond and do something more and prove yourself, you know, beyond your job experience, which is great.
Shouldn't they be in the portfolio, though, not in the CV?
If you've got one, yeah, why not? I've seen a lot of CVs of developers that have got their portfolio, and there is a link, again, on the top of the CV where they've got LinkedIn and their contact details, and they also put a link to their portfolio, you know, to, yeah, free up some space on the CV for the more important stuff, and then, you know, keep it the nice stuff somewhere separately.
All right. Let's move on to this one.
Yeah.
This is again a one-pager. Owen, thank you.
Yeah, no, perfect. Yeah, this resume, I guess, compared to the first resume, and yeah, even compared to the second resume, admittedly just wasn't as good. Unfortunately, I'd probably have rated that at first glance maybe about a 7 out of 10 or so, or not even, maybe a 6.5 even. But again, yeah, again, just to start with, I guess, the banner maybe, or the banners throughout the resume, does it really need to be black and white? Again, takes up a bit too much space for my liking. And as I alluded to earlier, one-page resumes can be very hit and miss, and this is probably more leaning towards the miss, dare I say it. And it's more apparent on the second half of the resume. But just from on the first page, just the LinkedIn tab and the Telegram tab, just if it's uploaded onto an ATS, might just distort the population of cells, for example. Just something to bear in mind of. But with respect to the content itself, the person does illustrate that they have that they have good networking skills, that the person is very much kind of a can-do go person, and also is generally, from the content itself, generally got the vibe that the person is well able to interact with a vast array of stakeholders, working in the universities in particular. I guess one aspect that I would like to mention on the content side is the fact, like, just, your first bullet point on your first experience should have a much better verb than helped to start with. More actionable results orientated verbs. And again, just being super critical. All very tedious but inconsistent line spacing there on the first page as well. But the real problem, I think, is in the second part of the resume with respect to the awards, sorts and projects. Now, with respect to the projects themselves, one, there's too many, and more importantly, they offer very little substance as to what they actually do or what was the end result. What was the actual achievement there? So maybe just if the person is thinking of listing projects that they're particularly proud of on their resume, focus on 3 and offer accessible links to those projects as well, and mention what was achieved there as well. So with regards to publications, awards, then and certifications, again, and even projects, font is just way too small for a reader to again, it comes back to hiring manager, talent acquisition specialists, receiving lots of resumes on a daily basis. Their time is valuable. Again, squinting their eyes, again, small little things, but it's just, you have to make the resume as consumable and as reader friendly as possible, and I can't emphasize that enough. And one thing that I think the person should really do is publications. Again, if you are appealing more so to the academic stakeholders, where were they published, what dates were they published, no information in that respect. And with respect to awards and certifications, I'd nearly merged those two together, if I'm being honest. And one thing that I think that the person could maybe integrate a bit more into their resume is their certification in the Move ecosystem as well, because again, I can assure you there's a strong lack of Move developers. So again, maybe if the person did a project in the Move ecosystem, could demonstrate proof of interest in the Move ecosystem, which could in turn help that person get more roles going forward.
Right, so they would benefit from having more of a focus in this resume, apart from everything else you've said. But
I just think the content should be more consumable, especially in this section here. To be honest, again, the font is too small. Again, it just doesn't give. Again, I just can't see the dates and where if we're relying on institutional factors, where were these academic journals, for example, published? With respect to the awards, is there any links to the rewards and the certifications as well? I generally think that the font size is too small, and I'd hazard to say that probably only a small percentage of busy hiring managers will actually read that, to be honest. So.
And along those lines, we have a live question. What makes the CV pass the HR review to book an interview? Any thoughts?
So it depends.
Go on.
No, it depends who's reading it first. So we can talk about resumes and structures all day long, but again, if you have a good referral from somebody, again, it's less important if somebody's putting in a good word for you. This industry is still very much like a global village. Everyone knows somebody, or everyone knows somebody that knows somebody. But if you're applying through an ATS, well, then things like structure and gravitating the person's attention in the first, say, 5 to 10 or even 15 seconds is vital. So that's where I'd say, think of a resume sometimes like a LinkedIn post. The first section is really crucial in terms of gravitating the person's attention, and that's where a killer executive summary is really, really crucial. And that's what I liked about the first resume. The person had a brilliant executive summary and also had their top skills front and center, and within those 10 seconds I can immediately know what that person is all about. So sorry, Ilya.
No. I think just to add on, I think there is no one recipe to be successful, but I often say less is more. And I think, first of all, no one has that amount of time to read through everything you want to share. Keep it to your actually online or face-to-face interview where you could actually share and tell your story. But I think on the CV, it's less is more. It's about structure, as Owen said. It's about very specific verbs and words that highlight what you've done, like implemented, built, led, launched, increased, decreased. Like this, what helps understand what you're capable of and actually scroll down and finally book you for a face-to-face interview.
Thank you very much for your answers. Moving on to the fourth resume.
Let me have a look. Yes, I think that's a very senior CV, and probably I think maybe the person has got some experience since they've grown up in the titles as to like Chief Business Development Officer, and looking at the all the titles, it's actually a very well-rounded, very accomplished professional and individual. And even if you look at the summary section, you can see the 15 years plus years of very diverse experience, fintech, crypto, payments, yes, it's a very it's a gem that you want to. And when you see that again in the professional summary in the top of the CV, that what draws your attention, that like you want to read further, you want to see what companies they used to work for, what they done there. And again, this is a perfect, I guess, example of the right picked verbs, because it's all about launched, led, represented, again, explained. So it's very action driven. It's very result focused. It's very, you can see it's a doer. It's not a process led individual. It's more like, give me crap and I'll make a candy out of it, so to say. Sorry, pardon my French. The only thing probably I would restructure here, if you go to the bottom, I think the core competences and the contact details in the bottom, and I think I would sort of push them up. First of all, the contacts normally go next to the name, so you can also like click on the LinkedIn to check what LinkedIn page looks like. And then many of us now have their Telegram like blogs or channels where they share their thoughts. So it shows your availability, but also sort of spectrum of interest. And then the core competences, I think number one, maybe it's too many, but maybe it's also the way they structured or unstructured rather. I would probably break them down into like 3 or 4 columns by 3, and maybe break them down into like the soft skills, because you can see there something like stakeholder management or global leadership. This is more like on your soft skills side, and shows your, again, leadership sort of capacity rather than fintech and crypto knowledge. So I would probably break them down, but also logically break them down into like hard skills, knowledge, and soft skills sections. But yeah, other than that, I think it's a great professional. They know about it, and yeah.
What my layman's eye noticed here is that a person goes back to 2007. But what I usually hear from hiring professionals is that you only need to list the last like 5 or maybe 7 years of your experience, because what happened before that is probably not relevant anymore. And what do you think in this case?
I mean, again, probably there is no like one recipe. This CV is on 2 pages still. So even if the experience goes back to whatever 2016, it still fits the 2-pager, which is nice given the global and diverse experience. Yeah, I'm like, even in my CV, the first probably 5 jobs I've sort of composed into 2 lines, like the company, the period, and the title. And if you want to know more, let's talk about that. But as you said, that was like 10-15 years ago, so it's not probably that relevant, even though in those times there could be something great and exciting that you want to share. But in this particular case, it didn't really bother me. Every single experience has got like 3 to 5 bullet points again of what they've done with a very action-driven verb. So that was fine for me.
And just on that, Julia, like I agree with you say with respect to like a lot of will say going back, but in this particular instance, I would actually agree with the person going back that far. One, because the person was there for the best part, almost a decade, but I guess we're entering this period of time now where we're increasingly embarking upon the institutionalization of crypto, and this experience in particular demonstrates that person has a great deal of experience, albeit in a different time, speaking to a completely different stakeholder, and a stakeholder that more and more crypto projects are looking to speak to. So this person is, with that experience, the person is also saying that they have experience, I guess, deep experience beyond the echo chamber, I guess, in many respects. Yeah.
It also probably the experience that made them built what they are today as a professional, like a trampler, like a starting point. So really something to be proud of.
True. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's very nice to hear that it's not a universal kind of guideline.
Rule.
Yeah. Great. All right. Moving on to the 5th resume. This one is for a marketer who asked, "What's missing in my marketing resume?" And this is it.
That sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, so that resume was a Notion page, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. No, so again, Ilya made a great point earlier. Less is more, and this is probably a good example of less is more in this particular instance, for sure. The person has some great competencies, great experiences, and also I checked out their personal website as well, and some very good, useful information in that page as well. So I think that people, when they click into the person's website, they'll be impressed with what the person has to offer. I guess what I did notice on the top part of the resume is that they didn't mention their where they're based effectively. So I have to go into LinkedIn to see where the person is based. That might, again, that's just be transparent, I guess, with regards to where you're located. I would say as well that with respect to the professional executive summary, might be, I don't know if it's been super critical, maybe a bit too long, but ultimately this is valuable real estate where the core competencies are located. Should not be there, to be honest. Should not be there. And with respect to the next experience, then if you want to go on one more, perfect. Just too many, 1 or 2 too many bullets, I would say, with respect to the experiences. Again, the content I think is largely fine, but maybe 1 or 2 too many bullets, I would say, in respect to the person's experiences. And again, it's just illustrating as well, less is more. And no matter who you are, no matter what type of experience you have, when it comes to resumes, it always should be taken as a gold standard that no more than 2 pages kind of is the rule. And again, this person went significantly over that, I think 3 pages. Just try and keep it to 2 pages. I think the section then with brands and activations as well, again, maybe a little bit of overkill in that particular instance as well. Maybe keep it more concise. It takes up a lot more value. It takes up a little bit too much real estate on the resume, albeit they are very useful experiences to have. But Yeah, no, the content is actually fine in this case. It's just kind of playing more in like adhering more to kind of the, dare I say it, the rules of the game and structure. The person has done a lot of good things right, has an excellent I'm kind of disappointed we can't show the link because the person has a good online portfolio. So yeah, just concising it to 2 pages, I think, is the main goal with this particular person as well. And again, those achievements as well, almost nearly, structurally, they should be up, not at the bottom. Yeah, so again, core competencies should not be where they are, to be honest, because it should be implied that you have those core competencies if you're applying for a job. We want to see the value add as recruiters. So that's what we're really looking for, the selected achievements in many respects.
All right. And would you say that there are some differences between the approach that, for example, developers should take when they're writing a resume and marketers or salespeople? Or do we all follow the same guidelines? Do you see any differences?
No, I would say generally speaking, and developers have a lot more leeway, I guess, in respect to how they can curate their resumes. And yeah, with respect to, I would say that keep the principles relatively similar. Again, show your achievements. Try, if possible, to get as much quantitative data into your resume as possible. Try and again, as I said earlier, frame basic duties as achievements so that you can set yourself up for interview success a lot better. And make the reader experience a pleasant one. And again, try and know your audience as well. Actually, I know we're in this age of AI slop, but actually try and decipher from the job description what are the top 4 non-negotiables in this role. Based on this job description, what are the major pain points from this particular JD as well, and try and make one or you'd be very much surprised how 1 or 2 twigs in a resume can make the world of difference.
What do you think, Ilya?
I think I liked what Owen said. We want to see the value added. So whatever section you believe is the one that's going to show the value that you've added in the past, I think that should be in the top part of your CV. Definitely not the core competences, probably. It's just a list of things that we will not take for granted. And it's just your assumptions, probably. So I wouldn't put them up in the CV. And the experience is the one that shows your true value, your summary, probably, your career highlights. So yeah, value added and less is more. That's the 2 principles I would follow always, regardless of your job title.
All right. And we have a question about LinkedIn. Does lack of LinkedIn profile bias the portfolio even with a detailed personal website?
Not for me. It's just easier. Like sometimes I think like when you have a link to the LinkedIn page, maybe because it's often more concise than the CV. I don't know. It's got, you're familiar with the structure. There is a picture, like the background, like the post is if you've made any posts. So I don't know. It's maybe just a familiar way of scrolling down and scanning the person experience and background. But it wouldn't throw me off if somebody doesn't have a LinkedIn page, but a personal website or a portfolio instead.
I guess where LinkedIn is very helpful is in terms of, I know like LinkedIn is a bit of a mess sometimes in respect to fake profiles, but if somebody is demonstrated as, like, especially in the industry that we're in, if somebody has a verified profile, it gives that in a globally remote environment, it gives it makes us more assured as recruiters that the person that we're interacting with is indeed real. And again, you can look through the person doesn't have to be active all that often. But again, what kind of posts have you been sharing, whether it's on LinkedIn or even Twitter, kind of what your thought process, what your interest areas are. So if you just look at the last kind of year or so, or even last few months, however, depending on how active the person is, you can kind of understand where their interests lie. And again, it could lead to maybe an interesting talking point during the interview as well.
Or maybe even the network, like you can see what common network you've got between the candidate and yourself, and you can maybe reach out to somebody they used to work together. Absolutely. Or they've heard. So yeah, it's a good sort of flags. Let's not say red or green or yellow. It's just good flags around that can help you estimate candidate.
All right. So they're called social networks, not for nothing.
Yeah,
that's exactly why we need them. All right. Moving on to the last resume. This one.
Yeah. It's a one-pager. This is a good example of what less is more looks like. I think it's very concise. It's very structured. We've got 2-3 bullet points for everything. The only thing I would change really is the education part. This is not what I would hire you for, so I wouldn't put it right under your name. So I would definitely put it down. And given that you've graduated from the same university twice, I mean, it looks like that. So I would probably save up one line and reduce the second Asia Pacific University, University, and just have 2 lines of the diplomas that you've got there. Experience is great. It doesn't have a lot to show, but even those 2 bullet points would be enough to understand, again, with the right words selected, like architected, participated. It's a very good highlight to understand what person is capable of. And then again, projects and the skills are a bit down further, which is good because, again, projects, I think they've got even more to say about the projects that they've won than the experience that they had in the jobs in the first place. But again, very structured, secure, developed, built, won the first prize or whatever, participated in it. Maybe it's a young, I would assume, candidate, and given that there is only 3 jobs, so projects could really add on a lot to your background and experience and interests and what you can do. So well done highlighting them here. And skills are always good to know, including the languages they can speak. So yeah, very short, concise. I would just add either a summary on the top, even if it's, again, as I said, given the little experience, but a lot on the side project. It could be a couple of lines, but just to make the recruiter or HR aware who they are looking at right now.
And even with the hackathon projects as well, like for example, there could be scope to obviously enter in a hyperlink so that the person can open up that link and see the project itself.
What I've seen for the first time here in this resume is that a person also lists the technical stack that they've used for each project. Would you suggest other developers do this as well? Is it a good practice?
I think I've seen that a lot. And I think that's almost like a normal to have that thing on your CV.
Just probably goes without saying, but one thing not to do in those situations is to do a slide chart to say how proficient you are in one over the other, because if you are applying via an ATS system, you are literally just nuking yourself. So you'll see some people do Solidity is max, and then maybe Rust is halfway, and then Golang is halfway. Do not do that. Yeah, do not. Yeah.
Is it okay to add it in the brackets, for example, or just not mention the level of proficiency at all?
So that's where you could integrate it into your resume and bullet points as to what stack you're primarily working with, and and again, it's generally employed amongst people that read a lot of resumes. Is if you're listing Rust as your first programming language, or JavaScript, it's generally implied that is the one you're primarily working on the most, and that equally in this person's case that they're working on C++ and assembly the least. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Thank you. Ilya, did you have anything to add?
I think again, repeat myself, but less is more, and what brings value, and also just be mindful that whatever you put on your CV, that could be questioned or asked to be proved. So if you put something on your tech stack that's something that you haven't really touched, just heard from the guy sitting next to you in the office, probably you shouldn't put that into your CV because yeah.
Yeah, sounds reasonable enough. Now let's move on to the Q&A part of the session. So first question, with minimal Web3 knowledge, how to land a job? I don't have any context here.
Yeah, so again, it's cringe. It's very cringe AF kind of a comment to make, but your network is your network. Like, it's kind of a phrase that I've tossed around a lot, and your best recruiter is you is another phrase that I commonly use. And again, it is very much a global village, and yeah, try and get in touch with people. So again, I'm sure if there's any projects that maybe from any of the hackathons this year that are building on Neon, get in touch with Julia. I'm sure you can send them in the right direction. Maybe get some exposure, get some demonstrate employers proof of interest, and then that'll lead from one experience will lead to another. You get build your reputation and street credibility in an ecosystem, and from there then more opportunities will abound, and that can be any ecosystem. It can be Solana, Algorand, whatever. Again, I genuinely still believe that people like to hire people that have demonstrated previously an interest in their respective ecosystems. They'll automatically get first preference. And again, the power of a good word can't be overstated in this industry, even today.
I think it very much depends also on the role that you're looking for, and I think I could be a very good example of when you didn't have any experience, any knowledge about Web3, and then you landed like a chief people officer job in a Web3 company. And I think once you've got this, as Owen mentioned, this drive, this interest into the industry, into the ecosystem, you've got the common sense, you've got the desire to learn, you've proved that you can master. Because I always say I don't care how much you know, I care how much you care. And I think anything can be learned or anything can be taught, as long as you've got this desire to learn, this desire and passion for making a difference and creating something unique. I think impossible is nothing, and yeah, off you go.
I always think so too, but honestly, I've been trying to be a musician at some point in my life, and it didn't work out. No matter how much I wanted it and tried to be a musician.
Same with singing and me. So yeah, this is just the talent that I don't have.
Yeah, probably depends on the sphere.
Yeah.
All right. Do you need a summary section in the beginning, or do HRs just skip it? I think we've covered that pretty much.
Yeah, a number of times. Yes, you do.
Yep. Short
no, we
answer,
don't.
yes. All right. And after the summary section, you also need these bullet points, right?
Like career highlights.
How do you call that? Career highlights. Yeah. All right.
Preferably, yeah.
Should I add my technical articles in the dev resume?
I think we mentioned that you could do that portfolio link where you can enlist all the articles and whatever you've done in the past. I think that could be a good way to save up some space on the CV and cover something more meaningful and relevant for the job.
But this is probably the kind of thing that shows that a person is eager to go extra mile and like interested in research as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, it's just like if you've got 10 articles, that definitely should go onto a portfolio link. If you've got one, please share on the CV somewhere close to the bottom where, I don't know, the skills and competences are. Because again, it's not what I would hire you for, but it shows your, spectrum of interest and side hustles and stuff like that.
Yep. Should I add my skills or it doesn't matter? I'm guessing it's about the skills section.
Yeah, so
cooking skills.
I would say if you can integrate them into your resume and previous experience better, but I generally just don't overkill, I would say, when it comes to listing skills in your resume. Yeah. So like we alluded to the core competency based section earlier, that was just trying to hit every keyword imaginable. So just don't do that because people will see through it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think sometimes people copy paste that from LinkedIn where you could add all the like I've got probably 46 on my profile, and I think people just copy paste them all 46 onto the CV page, and you really shouldn't, or pick the top 5 that you really mastered. Yeah.
All right. Should I add extracurricular activities?
Like hobbies, like, I don't know, traveling, reading, cats.
Yeah. Keep it to one line, I would say. If that is the case, and that's what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It's something. Yeah, I read somewhere, I think, that it's fun, or it's even appreciated sometimes when you do not just say, oh, I love traveling, but when you say it in a fancy way, like travel mode, or I don't know, ambitious over Wimbledon, meaning that you play tennis. Something extraordinary probably, but I don't think that's a recipe either. But I would put 1, 2, 3 definitely on one line.
All right. So you wouldn't say that it makes a resume look a bit unprofessional, or maybe
it's actually
juvenile?
Making it looks a bit human.
Yeah. Oh, human is nice.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. But keeping that to a minimum, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. How to make a CV more impactful and be noticed by the AI screening process? I guess it's 2 different questions, actually.
Yeah, that is a great question, and it's a very topical question given where we're at as an industry as well, because you're having AI often rejected by AI at the moment, and given we're in this era of AI, the human touch is even more and more relevant. So whilst we can talk about having super resumes all day long, and whilst it is valuable information to impart, I think that there is a lot of fatigue among talent acquisition professionals, especially those from major brands just seeing absolute slop come through more now than ever. And yeah, the greenhouse figures will even show how there's a massive spike in online applications for various different roles. And so yeah, again, if you want to make your CV more impactful, try and connect with somebody working at the company. Try and get in a virtual coffee working there. Try and get somebody internally advocating, working for you, so that you effectively jump over the AI screening process as best as possible. And that mightn't work for a major brand like a major exchange with Coinbase or Binance that have thousands of employees, but it will work with a project, I can guarantee you, if they only have 100 or less employees, for example. Yeah.
And I think that's a good link to the question before. Do you really need to have a LinkedIn profile? That's how it can work out. That's how you can help yourself with with the network and looking for a hiring manager or a recruitment manager in that particular company. Answering this question, I would think, for example, a lot of companies now using AI tools to help prioritize candidates based on the criteria they match, and how to understand how they match is basically if the CV repeats the keywords and verbs and criteria that the company has put into the open role description in the job description. So I would, again, given the AI era, right, I would still try to anticipate what are the key words that I need to sort of repeat in my CV to get scanned properly. But yeah, back to what Owen said, impactful is, I think one of the stories recently was viral on LinkedIn about, I think that was even like a hiring manager who said, okay, we rejected this guy twice. And he still tried and then emailed me or emailed my team. And then we finally met in person. And now he is the best of the best because AI or a one-pager will never replace a human conversation where you can unlock all the qualities and soft and hard skills, whatever you need for that role. So keep pushing, keep trying. I think we've got a saying, I can't remember which country this saying is from, but even if you were pushed out of the door, try the window. So I would follow the same path here.
This is a great saying. I love it. Yeah, and I think that people are trying all the windows nowadays. I get a lot of messages, even though I'm not a hiring manager or not an HR, but still, people who want to work at Neon, for example, they truly text everybody they can find.
Yeah, well, because many companies have got the referral programs and. A different question that we internally are trying to still secure that process so that not now that our internal colleagues would not bombard us HR with irrelevant profiles just trying to make some extra money on that. So, but I can't blame them.
Yeah. All right, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much once again, Owen. Thank you, Ilya, for being here today. And I've learned so much with you, as I'm sure have everybody else who's been on this stream.
Thank you, Julia. Always a pleasure. And hopefully this was helpful. And if not, reach out to us more.
I really appreciate it and hope everyone as well have a great Christmas and holiday period as well.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays. Let's smash it next year.
Yay! Good luck and bye.
Bye.